Good morning, Mr. Johnson's friends. I'm here to break down some fractions today. In this video, on this rainy Monday morning, I'm going to show you how to use what's called the area model to show how one unit fraction is equivalent meaning the same as a non-unit fraction. So pretty much we're taking a rectangle and we're breaking it into smaller pieces. So I like to think of it as, I know we just had a holiday yesterday. Hope you got to bake some good stuff or make some good stuff. So this is, let's say it's lasagna. And I'm going to show there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of lasagna. I need to bump this out a little so they're equal. So I got 1, 4, 2, 3, 4 pieces of lasagna. So what unit fraction is one piece of lasagna, which I'll color red for tomato sauce? Take a moment to think and put it in your brain. If you said this is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, you are correct. Good job. 1/4 of the lasagna is one piece, but have you ever eaten a quarter of a pan of lasagna? I don't know. I know I'm a big guy, but I've never even eaten a quarter of a pan of lasagna. So we need to break it into smaller pieces. Let's do it. I'm going to take the blue marker and draw a horizontal line down the middle because we're breaking it. Theoretically, it would be equal. This red square would be equal to this red square. This white square would be equal to this white square. So let's count the pieces there are now. If I divided 4 pieces into half, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is usually how people eat lasagna. So the number of pieces in the whole pan is going to be our denominator. That is 8. Now, how many pieces, how many eighths are there? 1/4 is the same as how many eighths? If you have, 2 people are going to split that quarter because it's too much for one person. So I'm going to go 1, 2. That number, that's called the numerator, the number of eighths there are is 2 eighths. So if we split the whole down the middle into equal parts, the top and the bottom, the 1/4 is the same. It covers the same area as 1, 2 eighths. That's how I know that 1/4 is going to be equal to 2 eighths. All right, now let's do another example. This is going to be more tricky. I want you to think about, what if let's see, have I ever brought brownies into the classroom? Well, let's say I did. Let's say you guys had a good week in the old days, and I was like, I'm going to make a square tray of brownies. And maybe I bring in a square tray. There we go. That's the whole tray of brownies. Now, I want you to think, if I split this between 3 people, how much is each part? If you said 1/3, you're correct. I'm going to put 1/3. And let's say only we want to serve 2/3 of it. Like I left 1/3 at home for Mrs. Johnson to eat and for her to give to her friends, and I brought 2/3 into class. There we go. That's 1/3, 2/3. But I want to share this with 6 people. Maybe 6 of you guys are in brownies this week. So let's Let's share it. Now, to make 6, think about how many times does this number 2, the 2 pieces, go into 6? In other words, you got to think of what's 6 divided by 2. And that's going to tell us how many rows we need. So 6 divided by 2 is, think a moment, 3. We need 3 rows of brownies to break this into 6 parts. So let's do it. I'll have 1 row up here, make a line. I'll have another row here, make a line. I'll have another row here, make a line. So now, just like we did with our eighths, let's count the number of squares there are in the whole tray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So your denominator, there's 9 parts in the whole, it's going to be 9. Move it a little closer since it's small. What about your numerator? How many pieces? I needed 6 pieces, right? That's why I took those 2 really long pieces I brought to class and divided them up into 6 parts. So now you tell me, how do you know that 2/3, 1/3, 2/3 is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ninths? Think about it for a moment. Well, if you said it's because 2/3 are colored in, and we broke each third into 3 equal parts to give us 6 colored in out of 9 as a whole, I agree with you. So good job. So this should help you with your problem sets for lessons 5 and lesson 6 for 4th grade. Also for if you're a 3rd grader watching this, that's great because this is going to help you understand the fractions you're learning more deeply and to get you ready for 4th grade, which is coming up soon. Alrighty. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.